Chiefs Kingdom, welcome back to All Chiefed Up. We're back with another podcast for that ass. Today, I just want to take a quick moment to talk about the Rashee Rice situation and some of the updates we got today. Let's talk about it. First off, appreciate you guys being here. Make sure to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you have not already. It looks like NBC in Dallas put out this story a little while ago. I just want to read it to you, and that way we can kind of digest exactly what's going on. They say arrest warrants have been issued for NFL player and North Texas native Rashee Rice and another driver in connection with a hit-and-run crash on Central Expressway last month that injured 4 people, Dallas police say. Police allege on March 30th that Rice, 23, and another driver identified as 21-year-old Theodore Knox were speeding along U.S. Highway 75 near University Boulevard in a Lamborghini SUV and a Corvette when they caused a chain reaction crash involving 4 other vehicles that was recorded on a witness's dashcam video. Both Rice and Knox have been charged with 1 count of aggravated assault, 1 count of collision involving serious bodily injury, and 6 counts of collision involving injury. Neither of the men are in custody at this time, police said. In addition to the crash, the dashcam video showed the occupants of the sports cars getting out of the vehicles and walking away. The occupants of the Lamborghini and the Corvette all ran from the scene without stopping to determine if anyone needed medical help or providing their information, Dallas police said after the crash. 2 of the involved drivers were treated at the scene by Dallas Fire Rescue for minor injuries, and 2 occupants of another vehicle were taken to a local hospital with minor injuries. 5 days after the crash, Texas Senator Royce West, who represents Rice, gave a statement admitting his client told police he was driving one of the luxury sports cars involved in the crash. During the interview, Mr. Rice acknowledged that he was driving the Lamborghini, Royce West said. That was the question that was asked, and he responded to that he was driving the Lamborghini. It is not clear if Knox has obtained an attorney to speak on his behalf. Rice's employer, the Kansas City Chiefs, had no comment on the recent warrants. However, our partners at KSHB News obtained a statement from the offices of Senator Royce West that reads, "There has been an arrest warrant issued for Mr. Rice. Attorney West will be accompanying Mr. Rice to turn himself in." So after reading that story, it doesn't sound that great for Rashee Rice. I mean, we all kind of knew that he was involved in this, but now we know for sure he was driving the Lamborghini. There was speculation on that. Now we know what kind of charges are out. We know there's been an arrest warrant. It just doesn't sound good for Rashee Rice. And I know a lot of Chiefs fans are probably speculating, what kind of punishment is he going to get for this, be it legal or be it by the Kansas City Chiefs or by the NFL. No one really knows so far, but I did come across a Twitter thread by a guy named Drew Davenport. He normally does a lot of fantasy football stuff, but he's also a legal expert. So I thought it would be cool to kind of go over this thread with you guys because I thought it had some good information in it, and it might give you some perspective as to what's to come for Rashee Rice. Drew says the Rashee Rice charges are finally in, so it's time for an update, FF legal update, with my legal and fantasy take on the situation. Here's where my head is at right now. He says, the first thing I want to caution everyone about is that we are getting reports about the charges but don't have the actual code sections to work off of. That could be no big deal, or it could lead us to being a little off on what he's facing. Please don't forget that. He also says jurisdiction usually charge under state codes, but sometimes they use city codes for some reason. I'm working off of state code only, assuming that's how he'll be charged. I have also not seen the arrest warrant, nor have charges been put online yet. So I can dial things in tighter when I have access to that stuff. Now, speaking of warrants, don't read anything into a warrant being issued. It plays in the media and sounds more serious to say a warrant is issued and can be arrested, but warrants are standard. Actually, it's a little odd to me that they issued a warrant when he has retained counsel already, but I don't think that matters enough to get into. Bottom line, warrants sound scary, but don't matter. They're issued in these types of cases routinely. One final note about having incomplete information like I alluded to above. There were a lot of comments about guns being involved or about possible intoxication or even charges for street racing. None of those came to pass. This is why we let things breathe. The charges that I have seen reported are as follows. 1 count of aggravated assault. 1 count collision involving serious bodily injury. 6 counts collision involving injury. Charges are reportedly the same for the other driver. The code sections I've run down are Section 2202A1, aggravated assault, serious bodily injury, felony of the second degree. Section 550.021C1B and Section 550.021C2, felony of the third degree for SBI, otherwise state felony for the 6 counts. The main issue right out of the gate for Rice is that either of the second or third degree felonies carry mandatory prison time of not less than 2 years, which comes from Section 1233. This seems bad, doesn't it? It's not great, but if my concern level was a 2 before, it's probably a 4 now. Will he go to jail or prison? Unlikely. The charges are serious, but keep in mind the biggest factor in any criminal case: what is your history? I don't remember Rice having any prior criminal or traffic history. That matters a lot. What is the next step in the case? Rice will turn himself in and likely be processed without spending much, if any, time in jail. The case will be set for arraignment, where he will plead not guilty, and then the case begins. Will this be done before the season? I think so, but we don't really know that with any degree of certainty. Felony cases naturally take longer and have longer speedy trial requirements. However, based on their early strategy, I expect Rice to move quick. Just his humble opinion. This is way worse than we expected, isn't it? Sort of. The charge of aggravated assault is certainly not one Rice wanted to see, nor did he want to see 8 charges. On the other hand, the multiple victims make the multiple counts pretty standard. We also learned that other than some marijuana, drugs, and guns were not involved, nor are they seeking anything related to intoxicated driving. What's he going to do? I have no idea, but he has several things going for him. As I said, he has no history I know of, and he has approached this as though he is truly remorseful. This matters a lot to both the NFL and the prosecutors handling the case in court. We don't know what's in the discovery packet, but it's fair to say that Rice may not have many defenses here. That doesn't mean he's guilty. It just means that he has to take a mitigation tack instead of a trial path. But again, I am speculating, so be careful with this information. How many games will he be suspended? I still think it won't be many. I think 1 to 2 games seems more plausible than it did before. I was mostly on 0. But I still think this gets pled down to a couple of misdemeanors, a suspension, and a hefty restitution bill. I always say the same thing. We don't have to be perfect right now. We just have to be better than others. Right now, I still don't see Rice as having a major issue here. Yes, it's serious. I really dislike this kind of stuff from young kids with money and fast cars, but we aren't here to moralize. I'm in the business of trying to help. You understand what's happening and see past the hyperbole. There is a lot of he's done and prison time comments out there. Take out the emotion and send out some dynasty offers. I still believe he has a long career with Patrick Mahomes in front of him. So I thought that was very interesting and very informative. Obviously, it's a little bit of speculation because he said it would really depend on a couple of things if what he was saying was correct or not. But I do think that was a pretty in-depth look at it, and it might give you guys an idea of what Rashee Rice is looking for in the future, what the NFL might be looking at, or what the Chiefs might be looking at. I just really think right now, instead of just overreacting like he said and saying he's done or he's getting prison time, I think you got to look at it from a big picture and kind of put it all together and realize that he didn't have a history. And this is something that, although super serious and very, I guess, disappointing for Chiefs fans, it's not the end of the world for Rashee Rice. Hopefully he'll learn from the incident and we won't see anything like this in the future. But right now, it's just looking like Rashee Rice is going to have to pay some bills and probably not do any prison time. He'll probably not get much of anything, to be quite honest about it. Maybe a 1 or 2 game suspension from the NFL. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. Obviously, things could change. I just thought this was a pretty interesting thread on X that we could kind of read through. It caught my eye. This Drew Davenport's a guy's name, at Drew Davenport FF on X. Seems like he's pretty thorough and very informative. So I just thought it was cool. Figured I'd share. Hope you guys have a great day. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me for a minute. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time. Go Chiefs.